to be having the question on the board, which is finding X. Welcome, Marilyn. Okay, so you can just let me know what the answer is for X. We've got 2 to the power X equals 8, and we're looking for X. You can just let me know in the chat what the answer is, or you can unmute yourself as well. And this will be helpful for us today as we look at the exponential functions and graphs. Let's have a look. We've got any answers here? Matlochonolo says X equals to 3. What about others? Sepang, welcome. Ketelo. Is Ketelo a new student? Ketelo. I haven't seen Ketelo before. Ketelo, welcome. Lisa, thanks for that. 3. Valerie, welcome. Okay, so it's 3. Okay, so X equals to 3. Wow, everybody's saying 3. So it has to be 3. Sure, you guys are really good at exponential equations then here. So let's have a look. I am going to solve this. So we got 2 to the X equals 8. And we've got here, just take these out. So we've got here 2 to the X equals 2 to the 3. Because what is 8? 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 to the X equals 2 to the 3. And because we have the same basis, we say X equals 3 because we've got the X and the 3 there. How's this, everybody? Is this okay? Right. Okay. Let's see. Is everybody here? Yes. Boy Tomato is here. Adam is here as well. Okay. 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 So, excuse me. Are you all ready for exponential graphs today? The drawing of exponential graphs. How do you feel about exponential graphs? Those of you that have done it, maybe you can tell me in one word. How do you feel about exponential graphs? Maybe you can give me one word if you've done it at school. Okay, I've got a smiley face here. What else? Who else can tell me how they feel about exponential graphs? Nobody. You haven't looked at this before. Okay, Rabon is super. Okay, some of you don't like this section very much. Hopefully, you can change those opinions at the end. Matlochonolo, let me know how you feel at the end. Sepang as well. Okay. What about the others? Some of you are very quiet. Marilyn, Sade, Sasetu, Trish, Valerie, Dineo. How do you feel about this section on exponential graphs? Okay. Come, one more. Okay, okay. Some of you haven't done it. Okay. So we're going to have to focus very, very carefully then, right? Sade, you've done it, but you're not quite a fan of it, so it's a bit difficult. Those that haven't done it, we're going to have to focus very, 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 very carefully. So I hope you have your pen and paper with you so that we can write very good notes. Okay, very good notes on this. And there's a lot of graphs that I've placed into the lesson today. So you're welcome. There is you're welcome to draw them. You're welcome to take a picture of some of them. So you have the graphs with you. Okay, so this is the standard equation for an exponential graph. This is the standard equation for an exponential graph, right? Okay, so this is exponential graph equation. Let's write this standard equation, right? Actually, maybe just write exponential graph equation. That's better, right? So this is exponential. Okay. So it's exponential graph equation. Okay. And this is it. Y equals AB to the X plus Q. Y equals AB to the X plus Q. How many of you have seen this before? Maybe you can just show me a thumbs up in the, or type in the comments if you haven't. I'd really appreciate that. How many of you have seen this before? Okay, Lisa, Sade, Adam, you've seen this. Who else has seen it? Who else has seen it? Let's see. Okay. Who else has seen it? Let's have a look. Any more people? We've got Rabone with different letters. Okay, that's fine. The letters all mean the same things, like it just represents, positives or negatives, things like that. Okay, Dineo, thank you. You've seen it. Daniel, you've seen it. Jason, you've seen it. Okay, great. Okay, thanks for that. So a lot of you have seen it. Okay. So what do all these things represent? We've got a, b to the x plus q. We know we did the previous graph was hyperbola, and I'm sure a lot of you are very good at that now, and we've been able to unpack what do each of these represent. Whereas for this, it represents different things, but some are the same as well. So we're going to unpack that. Let's have a look. So I've got these graphs here. But I need to sort this out a little bit. I need to bring this here down. Let's bring this down. I need to do this. There we go. So we've got our standard equation here. Y equals AB to the X plus Q. And we've got all these graphs. So there's 8 graphs based on the value, whether the A, B, and the Q is positive or negative. So this is how the graphs look. If the value of A is negative, so we start off here on the top, we're going to say B is greater than 1. And that's B. Here's B here. If B is greater than 1, so an example, what is a number bigger than 1? We can say 2. If B is greater than 1, and A is less than 0, and Q is greater than 0, then we have this graph here. So this is how it works. B greater than 1, then we have A less than 0, and B and Q greater than 0. Then we have this graph here. So all these 4 represent when B is greater than 1. Okay, when A is greater than 0 and Q is greater than 0, we have this graph here. Okay. And then when A is less than 0 and Q is less than 0, we have this graph here. And then when A is greater than 0 and Q is less than 0, we have this graph here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to label them. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say, let's call this one number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And I'm going to give you here, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to say y equals 2 times 3 to the x plus 2. Now, let's look at this graph. Okay, tell me from this graph, you can type in the chat also, is A positive or is A negative? What is A? Is it positive? Is A positive? You can show me a thumbs up if A is positive as well. Yes, A is positive. Okay, great. Yeah. A is positive. A is positive. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay, so A is positive. Okay. What about B? Is B greater than 1? So we said A is positive. So by positive, I mean greater than 0, right? Is B greater than 1? Yes, B is greater than 1. Good. What about Q? Is Q greater than 0 or less than 0? Q. Here's the Q. The Q here is 2, right? Is it greater than 0 or less than 0? Q. Greater than. Because it's positive here. And Q is... So which graph will it be? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Which graph will it be? Just type in the chat. Tell me which one will it be. We've got A greater than 0, B greater than 1, and Q greater than 0. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Yay, well done. It is indeed 2. Because at 2, we've got A greater than 0, B greater than 1, and Q greater than 0. Yes. Okay, some of you are saying 1. Well, I've got only one person saying 1. It's important to know here for this number 2, it's A greater than 0, Q greater than 0, and there will be this graph then here. All right? So A greater than 0 and Q greater than 0. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so it is 2. I'm going to give you another example here, and you're going to tell me which graph it is, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm not going to help you with the steps. You're going to come up with them on your own. So let's write another one. We've got here, what color should I use? Let's use purple. Let's say y equals -2 times 3 to the x minus 2. Which one is this? 1, 2, 3, or 4? You can just let me know. So you're going to take your piece of paper that you have there and you're going to write there. What is A? What is B? And what is Q? Okay, I'm getting some answers. Okay. I'm getting some answers. What about the rest of you? Some of you have gone very quiet. What is this one? Okay, yay, well done, everybody. It is indeed 3. Great. I'm glad that you're all getting this. Okay, I'm getting more and more 3s. Yes, well done. Cool. Okay. So it's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? Okay, great stuff. Three, yes. Well done, everybody. Great. Okay. Okay, great. So these are 4, but there's 4 more. Remember I told you there's 8, right? But what defines, or what do all these 4 have in common? What they have in common is this. This is very important, that for all of them, B is greater than 1. For all of them, B is greater than 1. Okay, is that okay? That's what all of these 4 have in common. Okay, we're going to move on to the next 4. I hope you've made notes of these or just taken a picture of this particular graphs and written nice notes on this. Are you all ready to move on to the next 4 types that we have? Yes, you can just show me a thumbs up. Yes, you're ready. Okay, I hope you've written these down. The rest of you are very quiet. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay. Yes, Lisa, it's going to change now, right? So it does change. These 4 are when B is greater than 1. But we do get now ones where B is between 0 and 1, right? So let's have a look at this. Now we're going to move on to the next 4. Here's the next 4. And you see here, it's where B is between 0 and 1. And again, I need to actually do something. I need to go back and bring this down, right? So if you just let me bring this down, I think this will help us a lot, right? So you're going to bring that down. And we're going to look here. So we've got here these ones. Now, what can you see about these ones? Here, B is between 0 and 1. So this is what all these ones have in common. So a number between 0 and 1 actually is a fraction. Anything between 0 and 1 is a fraction, right? So when we say B is between 0 and 1, we mean that B can be like half. Half is between 0 and 1, or we can say a third, etc., right? Any fractions between 0 and 1, 1 over 8, 1 over 9, any fractions, right? Okay. Now we see we've got different situations here. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's label them. I'm going to call this one 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we can see for this first one, A is less than 0 and Q is greater than 0. That's for the first one, right? A is less than 0 and Q is greater than 0. And then for the next one, A is greater than 0 and Q is greater than 0. And then at the bottom, we have number 7. A is less than 0 and Q is less than 0. And for number 8, A is greater than 0 and Q is less than 0. Now, one can ask, what is this Q exactly? The Q is this line, the dashed line, the asymptote. The Y asymptote that you have there, right? Okay. So Q will be the dotted line. That's how we see when Q is going to be less than 0. We can see these are in the negative. Here's 0. These are negative values, right? Okay, so we've got these, and I'm going to give you another example now, and then you're going to tell me which one of these it is. So let's try this one. Y equals minus 2 times half to the power x plus 1. So in this one, we've got a, which is a negative. That's a. We've got b, which is between 0 and 1. And we've got q, which is positive. So which graph will that be? 5, 6, 7, or 8? What do you think? Remember, q is positive. Hey, be very careful. Q is positive. Yeah, q is greater than 0. So which one would it be? Some of you are changing answers very quickly. So it is indeed number 5, I believe, because look at 5. A is less than 0. B is between 0 and 1. And Q is positive. Him? Yeah. Yes. Can you see that, Trish? Okay. So look at this first one. A is less than 0 and Q is positive, right? So it has to be here, this graph here. Okay. So it is number 5. Is that okay, Marilyn? What's happening, Adam? I see you've got a strange sign there. Is that okay, Adam? Let me know. So this is number 5, right? Let's try another one. Okay, y equals minus 3 half to the power x minus 2. Which one will this be? Look at your A. A is, B is, and the Q. Okay. So it's 7. Yay, well done. That it is 7 indeed. Yes, you people are all experts at this. Okay, that's great. Okay, so yeah, we've got 8. I'm going to minimize the screen. It's going to make it a bit messy because it's going to be squished together, but I'm just going to show it to you because I want to show you all 8, right? So let's just have a look here. And like I say, it's a bit squished, so do excuse me here. I'm sure you can't see it so clearly, but yeah, it's just, these are the 8, right? So the first parts that we were doing, the important part is this B, right? So for these ones on the top, B was greater than 1. But here at the bottom, B is between 0 and 1. If we can just remember that, then and each of the graphs here, then you'll be okay. When you get an equation, we can decide where to put the graph in, right? How is this so far? This is, I know it's quite a lot of information, but when we do them individually, one at a time, I can see that you are understanding them. So just make sure you look at the bigger picture, and we can then bring another equation into this and choose, right? Okay. How are you feeling about this? How are you all feeling about this? Are you feeling okay? I'm going to erase this just because I feel I need to write here on the side. So do forgive me for erasing here, but I'm just going to erase here. Just so I can give you one more before we move on to the question that I want to do with you the drawing of the graph, right? So, okay, let's try this one. Y equals, right, -3 times a third to the power x plus 2. Which one will it be? Which one will this be? Let's choose one of the graphs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who's going to give me the first one? Okay. So we've got A here, which is negative. So A is less than 0. B is between 0 and 1. And we've got Q, which is greater than 0. Like I said, you all are experts at this, and that is indeed the answer, number 5. Okay. I think you are all ready now to draw your own graph. So we're going to look at how to draw this graph, because it's so important to understand what the graph is like. If we draw it, if we give any information, how do we draw this? We need to understand where does it go, first of all, before we can draw it, right? Okay, so can we move on to drawing it? Let's look. If you can just show me a thumbs up, that will help me to see where you're at. Can we start drawing it? Can we start drawing it? Yes. Okay. Any questions so far? Also, please type it in the chat. I am looking at the chat. So please do let me know if you've got any questions. We can just go through those as well. So we are now ready to draw. Okay, so I'm going to give you here. But now I hope you have your drawings there, but we can come back to it on the top. We've got -2 times 3 to the x plus 6. Okay, -2 times 3 to the x plus 6. I think it's best we go up again. Hey, let's go up again, but you're going to have to help me remember that equation. -2 times 3 to the x plus 6. Let's go up. Let's do this. So we've got -2 times 3 to the x plus 6. Hey, I think that is it. -2 plus 3 to the x plus 6. -2 and it's y equals, right? How will this graph look? Which one will it be? Yeah, more of you can let me know. Yeah, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm seeing only ones here. So it is indeed, I think, graph 1, but let me check as well. Okay, so we've got here, we said A is negative, B is greater than 1, and Q is positive. Yay. So that is right. It is indeed 1. So we can go back down here and say that if we had to draw this, it must end up looking like 1, right? And what did 1 look like? 1 looked like the graph was going like that, right? Okay, so let's see. So if we end up drawing, we're just going to make a note here on the side and say, hey, we think that if we had to draw this, the graph will ultimately look like this. And you can just draw a rough sketch there on the side, right? Just to say, if you had to ever draw this graph, it should look kind of like this, right? Okay. So, yeah, okay. So now we can do a formal drawing of this, because this one here is obviously a rough sketch, very untidy, but it gives us an idea of what's happening, right? So let's start. What do we always do when we draw graphs? What do we need to look? We need to look for the x-intercept and the y-intercept, right? What happens at the x-intercept? What is y equal to? What is y equal to at the x-intercept? Yes, y is 0. So we're going to say, so we're going to first start and say y-intercept, right? And y-intercept, we know here the x equals to 0. Okay. So we're going to say y equals minus 2. Then I'm just putting a dot here, which is the same as times. So what is the y-intercept equal to? Anybody has an answer for me? What is the y-intercept equal to? Minus 2 times 3 to the 0 plus 6. What is 3 to the 0? 3 to the 0 is, anything to the power 0 is 1, right? So what will this answer be? Thanks for that, Ketelo. So it's minus 2 times 1 plus 6. So y equals 4. Great. So the coordinates of y will be 0 and 4, right? The coordinates of y will be 0 and 4. Okay. And then we need to find the x-intercept, and the x-intercept, y equals 0, right? So let's try that in a different color. So to find the x-intercept, you can start finding it so long. So x-intercept, y equals 0. So we then can say 0 equals to minus 2 times 3 to the 0 plus 6, right? We then take the 6 over. Okay, I made that look funny. Let's just leave it like that. Take the 6 over there. Let's do that rather. So it's minus 6, right? Because it's a plus that side. Can you see I made a mistake here? That's not supposed to be 0. It's supposed to be x, huh? So let me fix that. So it's going to be 3 to the power x, like that, right? So it's minus 6 equals minus 2 times 3 to the x. And then I divide by 2. So I take this 2 over. So it will be then minus 6 divided by minus 2 equals 3 to the x. And x then equals to 3 to the x equals to 3. Okay. 3 to the x equals 3. So what will x equal to? Anybody have an answer for me? What will x? If 3 equals 3 to the x, what will x equal to? Yes. Excellent. So x equals 1. And it is 1 and 0. Okay. And what is the asymptote? What is the y asymptote? Who knows? Remember what we said? We said the, what is it? The q, hey, represents the y asymptote. What is the y asymptote? Look at your equation. Yes, thank you. It is 6. Okay, it is 6. Okay. And then we're going to draw this graph, right? So we've got x-intercept, we've got the y-intercept, and then we've got the asymptote, right? Today, I'm going to do some magic, and we've got the graph already, right? I'm going to make the graph a bit bigger just so that you all can see it nicely. And there's the graph, right? Okay, so we've got here our asymptote, which is y equals to 6. So that was our asymptote. Then we got our x-intercept here. And we've got our y-intercept here. And then we have our shape of the graph here, right? Okay, and that's your graph. And remember here, the asymptote, this graph doesn't touch here, hey? It doesn't touch. It comes close, but it doesn't touch. So you can, this graph here, if you want, you can extend it like so, but remember, it doesn't touch, right? It doesn't touch the asymptote. It comes close, but it doesn't touch, right? That's the definition of asymptote. How's this looking, everybody? Let me know, how's this looking? Okay, Lisa, you finding it okay? What about the rest of you? Okay, Trish, it's amazing. Okay, that's great. We've got lots of thumbs up here. Great. Okay. Malang, you've been very quiet. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay. So Setu also thumbs up. Matlochonolo, thank you. Okay, it's good. All right, great. I think you're all ready to try your own. So we're going to look at another one. Can we move on? Are you ready to try another one? Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Yes, okay, good. Let's try another one, right? But you need to now know where the graph goes in order to try the graph, right? In order to draw the graph, you need to know where it goes. Remember, not all graphs have X values as well. So let me just go back up here again and show you. Remember, like, if you look at these graphs, right? See this one. This number 2, right? Number 2 graph. Can you see this graph? It doesn't, does it have an x-intercept? Does it touch the x-axis? Does it go through the x-axis? This one, number 2, yes or no? Does it go through the x? Does it go through the x-axis there? Number 2. Number 2, can you see number 2? It doesn't go, it just goes through the y, see? Because here's the x here, the x is at the bottom here, right? It doesn't go through the x, it only goes through, it only touches the y, right? Yes, so some graphs, there's no x. When we try and solve for x, there's no x, so just remember that. Okay, so let us try the next one. I'm going to give you the next one to try. Just give me a second, let me find it for you. We've got this one. Sketch the graph of gx equals 3 times 2 to the x plus 2. 3 times 2 to the x plus 2. Okay. And we need to kind of figure out where this graph goes. And this graph will be in the quadrant where I think we must go back to the start to look at those 8 graphs again. What do you think? Shall we go and look at those 8 graphs again? Hey? What do you think? Are you needing to look at that? You can just show me thumbs up or chat. Type in the chat. Do we need to go back to those 8 graphs, or do you know where it is? Okay, you want to go back to those 8 graphs. Okay, let's go up then. Okay, good. So, but you're going to have to remember this equation, right? 3 times 2 to the x plus 2, right? 3 times 2 to the x plus 2. Let's go up to those 8 graphs. Okay, so I'm going to go here. 3 times 2 to the x plus 2. And let's put it here. So we've got y equals. So it's 3 times 2 to the x plus 2. Which one will it be? Okay. Who else? Come, let me know which graph will it be. A lot of people are saying 2, but I've got somebody saying 3 here as well. So we've got A is positive, right? B is greater than 1. And Q is greater than 0. So it has to be this one. I think it's 2. Yeah, it is 2. Yeah, well done, everybody. Great. So we're going to go back to the graph and see. So that's a rough sketch, and let's do that again, right? But I draw those rough sketches very untidy. So let me try and draw it a bit neater. So the rough sketch here must be, okay, and it will be here. Okay, and then we're going to draw it here, right? So it should kind of look like that, right? So let's find x. We find x by making y equal to 0 and y by finding x equal to 0. So x-intercept. So x-intercept. We make y equal to 0. So it's 0 equals 3 times 2 to the x plus 2 minus 2 equals 3 times 2 to the x minus 2 over 3 equals 2 to the x. Can you see the left-hand side? You can't make it in terms of the base of 2. So there is no x value here because 2 to the power, you can't say 2 to the power anything will give you a negative. It will never give you can plug anything in the power of 2, but it will never give you a negative, right? So we can see there's no x value. And also by looking at our graph, see here, there's no x value here, right? No x-intercept. Okay. Do you all agree that there's no x-intercept here? Let's see what you're saying. Yeah, no x-intercept, right? Okay. So there's no x-intercept, right? But we can try and find the y by making x equal to 0. Let's find the y. So y-intercept, we say x equal to 0. So it will be y equals 3 times 2 to the power 0 plus 2. So y will equal to what? You can tell me what will the y be? Yes, y will equal 5. So y equals 5. And what is the asymptote, everybody? What is the asymptote? What's the asymptote? Yes, asymptote is 2. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So this is the asymptote here, right? This was the asymptote here. It's y equals 2. But now we need to draw it nicely, right? So you can draw it so long and then I'll do the magic and then show you what the graph is, right? So you draw it for me. And then I'll show you, right? Just show me thumbs up once you're done drawing it, and then I'll show you my one. You don't need to draw it like to scale and stuff. You can just draw a rough sketch. As long as you know what you're doing, and then in the test, you can draw it according to the graph paper that they give you. Just show me thumbs up when you're done drawing it, or you can just type in the chat, right? To say you're done. Let's see who's going to be done first. Just show me a thumbs up once you're done drawing. Okay, Lisa, well done. Lisa's done. Okay, we've got also Trish. We've got Trish who's finished. Okay, great. Valerie, well done. Everybody's done. Okay, Tsepang, well done. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so Marilyn also done. Well done. Okay, so let's do the magic. Let's do the magic and bring in the graph. And there we go. There's the graph. We've got y equals 3 times 2 to the x plus 2, and we've got our asymptote, and we've got our x and y intercepts there. Okay, so let's label them. Somebody is not muted, and I'm getting some noise. What's happening? Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got here the asymptote. And then we've got no x-intercept, so it's just a y-intercept, right? And yeah, and you can put the name of the graph here as well, right? Just so we know, in case you draw multiple graphs, at least you have the name of the graph, right? And yeah, this is drawing of exponential graphs. So those of you that have never done this, those of you that said it was daunting, said it was challenging in the start, how are you feeling now? How is the section? If you can just let me know in one word, those of you that found it to be challenging in the start, how are you feeling about this now? Obviously, you're going to go and revise this, but how are you feeling about this section? Okay, you're feeling wonderful. You're getting better at it. Okay, great. Okay, okay, okay. Lisa, about the x-intercept, yes, you can practice that more. It's about algebra and equations. Remember, important, we need our algebra to solve graphs as well. Great, better, Rebone, well done. Okay. Okay. Well done. Okay, so that is it from me. I'm going to hand you over to Nikela, your mentor, who's going to help you let you know where we are at with the lessons. Okay.
Okay. Hi everyone. Well done on today's lesson. I think you guys did really well. I mean, despite some of you not having done this before, I think, yeah, you guys did a really good job, and I hope you made your notes and stuff for when you do it in class to refer back to this. Just a quick reminder before I start sharing. If you can go and check your name, and just before the lessons or whilst you're in the lessons, please just make sure your name is the name that you are registered on Watobi as. So if it's a nickname and things like that, we're not going to be able to pick it up, so it just has to be your Watobi name basically. So yeah, that's just a quick reminder. So just an overview of what we were doing. We did lesson 4, and yeah, that was the drawing of the graphs. And our next lesson is on the 10th. and it's going to be finding the equation of the exponential graphs. Your homework is going to be functions and relationships. So you're going to look for topics, and then you're going to look for functions and relationships. Once you click into that, you're going to see scroll all the way to exponential functions, and you're going to see sketching exponential functions for a greater than 0. So that is the homework for today. And yeah, I'll leave it on the screen. You can maybe write it down, take a picture, and yeah, well done on today's class, and we'll see you in the next one.
Well done, everybody.